Brie Larson. The linchpin of the MCU, Mr. Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson. Gemma Chan, Clark Gregg, and the dynamic duo that brought all of this together, Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. All right, let's take a seat, guys. You each have a microphone right behind you.
Work out the best. And those are the moments, the defining moments of her character, where she doesn't lay down, she gets back up. I mean, that's everything. That's for everybody. There isn't a person who can't relate to that, I don't think.
Yeah, that get back up, I loved it. It's my favorite part of, like, you know, just her with that fist. I'm like, yes, queen. But in the process of making this movie, you had to get back up. Did y'all see her push a Jeep? Anyone? Because I did, and I felt very bad about all my life choices, because I will never push a Jeep. So I think inspirationally for everyone else, in the process of this physical transformation you made to make Captain Marvel look like the strongest being in the galaxy, was there ever that day where you're like, I need something to like help me get back up? And where did you find that like extra oomph?
Yeah, all the time, all the time. You think training for that many hours every day for 9 months, like every day I was just like, I'm amazing. Like I sobbed in the gym many times. My trainer would be like, oh, she's crying again. It's very emotional when you're kind of stirring up something very vulnerable and raw inside of you, and you're also learning that it's just for you. There was nothing for me to prove. I wasn't proving it to other people at the gym. I certainly wasn't proving it to my trainer because he was never gonna be fully impressed. It's his job to not be impressed. It was for myself. And for me, the main reason for doing it was so that in moments like this, when we're talking about Carol's strength and we're talking about, you know, what I learned from her, it's that I'm stronger than I realized. Of course this movie is like assisted with VFX because I can't personally shoot photon blasts. There's not enough prep in the world for me to do that yet, but I will figure it out if there's a way. But I can stand here and say that I am really strong. I was able to deadlift 225 pounds, I was able to hip thrust 400 pounds, I was able to push my trainer's 5,000 pound Jeep up a hill for 60 seconds. So this concept when it comes to like gender norms or what the human body is capable of, or in particular maybe what a female body is capable of, it's capable of a lot. You know?
Doing that for me. She sent those.
I also was doing it to brag.
Send those to me.
Was she giving you the business on Instagram,
Yeah.
being like,
He had that Jeep video
Really,
like
this
a
what I
year
got.
ago.
Really, this what I got to deal with.
well, that I'm going to really try to maybe do a couple squats now. You guys, one of the things I loved about the movie was how many 90s awesome touches it has. It's like dripping with 90s nostalgia, and it just brought me back to like my adolescence. Was that like from the script from the beginning? Did you have all the music cues? Did you have like, this is where we want to go? Or did that come in the like pre-production process to make it this 90s wonderland?
Oh yeah, we made like a big playlist at the beginning of the movie, and we shared it with the crew and some of the cast, and some of those songs are in the movie, but it was really just in post. We put the scenes together and just threw songs in and see what stuck, and it was very much a collaboration with Kevin and the whole team at Marvel to figure out which songs really worked the best. I actually worked at a Blockbuster in 1995, so that brought back a lot of memories creating that set.
For you, Anna, was there anything that you wanted to get in there that you couldn't? Like maybe a Fruitopia bottle? I was looking for it.
What were you looking for?
Fruitopia. That was like the drink from the 90s. Like I was like, please bring it back. That and clearly Canadian.
Yeah, I was a big candy eater in the 90s, so there was a lot of, you know, even, do you remember those like little like kangaroo things that you could like dunkaroo? Oh my God.
Frosting!
That's what those, you're right, they're, you know what, you don't
Which
eat
flavor?
enough movies.
Which flavor?
I liked like the kind of the vanilla with the little chocolate.
Totally.
You know? Anyways, you don't eat enough in the movies, so basically we couldn't get those dunkaroos in.
Oh man, I would have loved that. And you had the right flavor too. The chocolate kangaroo with the vanilla icing. Anyone that disagrees, you're wrong. Sam, so this is a new Nick Fury that we get to see this time. Or not a Nick Fury we haven't gotten to see before. Let's put it to you that way. What did you particularly like about embodying, you know, this 90s version of our favorite shield leader?
Well, you know, sort of a kinder, gentler, not so cynical, world-weary, chip on the shoulder Nick Fury, who hadn't met anyone from another universe just yet, and sort of looking at the crazy lady, trying to figure out why she thinks she's an alien and what all that means. And it's kind of fun to not be the all-knowing, angry persuader that Nick Fury always is. And even more refreshing to have two eyes, so I didn't have to cover one eye while I was learning my language.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you never forget your first alien. Let's keep it real. Also, did you see, I want to know from maybe Kevin or maybe you guys together, did you see Robert Downey Jr.'s like de-aging in Civil War and you were like, okay, I need to get this immediately? Like how did that come about? Like were you like, okay, I'm next? Or how did that whole go? And then how was the process of that, on set with that little added bonus, knowing they're going to be...
It's not a real on-set process.
No, we're not?
Like, they put the wig on me and they put dots on my face, so I kind of felt like I was in Wakanda.
Okay.
And, they started exploring, different things that I had done before so that they could use facial expressions that were already there. Fortunately for me, I'd done, like 3 movies before this one. So they had stuff to refer to. So it was cool. It was just me and dots on my face and having fun with Brie.
Yeah. Kevin?
Well, the technology is spectacular. We've done it in a number of films, and I think this represents the peak. However, the 2 people up here who we did do it to, Sam Jackson and Clark Gregg, are the 2 human beings on Earth who don't need it. I urge you to Google them in 1995, and it's almost identical, so we saved a lot of money. Let's put it that way.
I have to ask you, for your character, well, first I have to ask you, joining the MCU, I know you've done a ton of big movies, but joining the MCU is like a badge of honor for a lot of actors, and you have 2 sets of kids. You have teenagers and young kids. Did either of them care? Were they happy that you were going to be in a Marvel movie, or were they like, if it's not Frozen, I don't care anything about it?
I know they cared, but they cared only in the vernacular of as teenage kids. It was like, yeah, it's cool. That's really, really great.
That is...
It's about all I got, but I knew that was quite high on the Richter scale,
That's huge praise for a teenager. That's like a...
I was just saying to Kevin, they saw it this week and then there's a screening next week in London, and the fact that they all want to come again is a very good sign. With friends.
Oh, I love that. So that's awesome. Your kids are happy about your MCU appearance. And then LaShawna, I know you campaigned to be in the MCU. This was like a mission for you. Remember you telling us back at the set visit. So talk to me about your long road. So you were like, I'm gonna get me a Marvel movie. Like it's gonna happen.
I literally said, I'm gonna get me in there room. The voice that you just did was the voice that I had in my head for 2 years. I am a Marvel fan, so I've grown up watching them, I've grown up loving the characters, enjoying the trajectories, and I just had a feeling that something would come up. So I was like, send tapes. And then they all didn't work out for a reason. They all didn't work out because I felt like energetically I was drawing towards something that represented something that I care about, women. So yeah, I campaigned. Of course I did.
I'm all for the campaign. I campaigned to be up here, so thank you. But you're back in the MCU. What was it like being back on set, Marvel feature film, Coulson is back?
It wasn't a long conversation. They said, hey, listen, do you want to come back? It's the 90s, cool soundtrack. Ryan and Anna, little origin buddy stuff with Sam. And they're going to give you more hair and make you look younger. Oh, and Brie Larson is going to be Captain Marvel. And I was like, okay, where do I go? And it superseded that in every way. It was so incredibly fun to do. And I've gotten the thrill of taking my young daughter to a bunch of Marvel movies, but I'm taking a 17-year-old young woman to see Captain Marvel next week, and I've never been more excited to take her to anything ever.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love that. Gemma. I'm saving the best for last. So I think it's gonna be hard for a lot of folks. I have like deep cuts on your filmography going back to like Fresh Meat. I know like I'm here.
Wow, way back.
Yeah. But other folks are just gonna remember Crazy Rich Asians. Recently you were this Asian ethereal princess that was so regal, and then you show up this time as this like sniper mean girl all in blue, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be like a steering wheel for people. So what was it like embracing your inner mean girl?
I loved it. I like to change it up and surprise people a bit, and it was really fun going from playing Astrid, who was this very warm-hearted, kind, empathetic
person to Minerva, who is much, well, she's got a harder edge, she's sarcastic, she's a bit of a mean girl, but I like that. I like kind of tapping into that side of me. It was fun. It's fun to be bad. I like that.
And sniper school, did you get to do any sniper school?
I did. I had to learn how to, crawl with a rifle, how to, I did all the drills. There's an amazing stunt team that Marvel have, and they help you look like you know what you're doing. Because I really didn't. And hopefully pulled it off.
Excellent. All right, I'm going to throw it to the audience in just 1 sec, but real quick, I'm going to, and there'll be microphones, so just raise your hand. I'll be as democratic as possible. Real quick, starting down here with Ryan. Again, I loved that it was the 90s, and I was obsessed. So I'm going to ask everyone real quick answer. Is there anything from the 90s that you want to come back? Maybe you're a Fruitopia, clearly a Canadian person like me. Or is there something that you obsessed about in the 90s? And you can't use Dunkaroos because we already talked about that one. But anything you loved from the 90s, like a book, song, anything that you're obsessed with?
Yeah, VHS tapes.
VHS. I still have VHS. That's how sad I am.
Payphones, because then I wouldn't have to check my email all the time.
I wish MTV had videos again. I mean, not just 90s MC Hammer, which were awesome, but just videos, music videos.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Laser discs.
Wow, it's like so deep. But he is very passionate about laser discs, by the way, that's not a joke. Butterfly clips.
Oh, yes. Yes, and they
So good.
So needed.
in
I
that
was a
dealing.
big fan of the band The Verve.
Oh, yes. Is that the freshman?
Yeah. What is Richard Ashcroft is on his own now. Sad. And they were The Verve, and then they were just Verve. Verve. Blur. Verve. Sway. They were like garbage.
All right, and verb, you can thank.
Those ended in all the those ended up in a pile.
You can thank Jude for y'all spike on Spotify after this. Okay.
R&B, just R&B. 90s R&B was the truth, man. The truth. I'm gonna actually start a campaign to bring back 90s R&B. Great, I have one for you as well, actually, to share. That's my answer.
Video stores. I miss walking around video stores.